A major police investigation into terrifying firearms incidents on Merseyside ended with 22 people, including a ringleader from Birkenhead, being jailed for a total of 311 years. The arrest of the gangsters ended the climate of fear that pervaded Speke housing estates, resulting from an increasingly violent turf war between organized drug-dealing crime gangs in the area. The 21 men and 1 woman, who were sentenced in a 2-day hearing concluding this afternoon, were involved in 2 separate organized gangs and were brought to justice following Operation Bombay, a 14-month-long investigation ending in May last year run by Merseyside police. A total of 10 potentially lethal working firearms, including sawn-off shotguns, were recovered by officers, 3 of them loaded and the others with available ammunition. Thousands of rounds of ammunition were found and more than £61,000 cash. Class A drugs with a street value of £163,000 were also recovered, but Liverpool Crown Court heard that there had been 76 drug-running trips to North Wales and further afield, and he and Unsworth QC, prosecuting, described it as a £1 million-plus operation. 2 pipe bombs, which were good to go, were found at Jackson Motors' garage premises in Wheatland Lane, Wallasey, which was a front for one of the gangs and where heroin and cocaine were mixed on an industrial scale, and weapons and ammunition stored. Judge Dennis Watson, QC, who presided over 4 trials involved in the case, said that if the fuses of the pipe bombs had been ignited, the effect would have been devastating. Christopher Wallace, who ran the garage, was the head of one of the 2 organized gangs, and he has been sentenced to life with a minimum term 31 years. Wallace, 35, from Woodchurch, had been convicted of drugs and firearms conspiracies and possessing explosives with intent to endanger life. After 3 guns and ammunition were discovered at his garage, he fled to Spain, but his illegal business continued from the premises, now called Sons Motors, run by 32-year-old Anthony Tierney, of Beechwood Gardens, Aigburth, who was jailed for 20 years, 3 months. The other gang was run by Jake and Callum Burrows, to whom Wallace supplied firearms and drugs. Callum, 22, of Ann Street West, witness, was jailed for 20 years, and his 24-year-old brother, Brandon, witness, received 25.5 years. The brothers, who also had their own arsenal of guns, had been found guilty of drugs and firearms conspiracies. The only woman in the case, Joanne Ritchie, who was a courier for Wallace delivering drugs in Liverpool, North Wales and Plymouth and collecting payment, made more than 20 trips in 8 months. Judge Watson said that when intercepted by police on November 15, 2017, Ritchie, whose partner Kevin Morgan, 58, was jailed for 16 years for his role in the plots, was found to have 2 kilos of import-quality heroin in her handbag. It was after her arrest that police raided Jackson Motors for the first time and found a gun and the pipe bombs. Ritchie, 47, of Westdale Road, Wavertree, was jailed for 9 years. Mr. Unsworth said that Morgan was related to Wallace and he used family members and trusted friends to assist him in his enterprise. Wallace's 21-year-old stepson Dylan Walsh played a pivotal role in the gang's firearms activity while being in prison for drugs crime, and he has a previous firearms conviction. He was jailed for 14 years today. Judge Watson said that 3 people had been injured after shots were fired into a house in Ramsbrook Close, Speke, and there was later a retaliatory attack at a house in Eastern Avenue, Speke. Children had been ushered away minutes before the judge described it as a miracle that none was hurt after a weapon was fired 4 times into the premises. He pointed out that during the turf war many people in Speke felt that gangs could operate with impunity, and the police operation had made a real difference. There has been a dramatic reduction in crime and an improvement of life for residents of Speke. Now this criminal activity has been curtailed. The court heard that through violence and intimidation vulnerable young people had been coerced into county lines. Drug running and drugs were also distributed to Shropshire and Plymouth. The gangs buried drugs in woodland near Speke along with some of the firearms that were used to enforce